Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we're gonna solve another lab from Pwned Labs. And in this video, we're gonna solve this identify the AWS account ID from a public S3 bucket. So let's see the entry point. We have the AWS credentials and IP address. Okay, we have this access key and secret access key, and here we have to submit our flag. Let me first copy this and let's see the scenario. Okay, in the world increasingly reliant or dependent on cloud technologies, the ability to expose and leverage even the smallest oversight has become a coveted skill. In the middle of this backdrop, a leading tech enterprise has reached out to your specialized cyber team for assistance and have provided the IP address of their websites. Your objective: use this IP to pinpoint their AWS account ID via public S3 bucket so we can commence the process of enumeration. So the lab prerequisite is basic Linux command line knowledge, and the learning outcomes will be knowledge of a technique that can be used to find AWS accounts, IDs, understanding what a tool does by performing a code review. Okay, difficulty is foundation and the focus is on red team. And here we have a real world context that if a hacker gets their hands on an AWS account ID, they can try to figure out the IAM roles and users tied to that account. And they can do that by taking advantage of detailed error messages that AWS services spit out when inputting an incorrect username or role name. Okay, these messages can verify if an IAM user or role exists, which can help hacker compile a list of possible targets in an AWS account. And it is also possible to filter public EPS and RDS snapshots by the AWS account ID that owns it. Okay, and here we have the note that the flag in this lab is the AWS account ID associated with the S3 bucket. Okay, so let's start off with our enumeration. Let me scroll up and copy the public IP address. So I have already created a lab3 folder. Now let's use nmap -pn and we'll provide the IP address. Okay, and you guys can also write -sv for service version detection. Let's scan this. It will take some time, so let's wait. So our nmap scan is completed and only one port is open, that is HTTP, and they are using the Apache HTTPD server, and the version is 2.4.52 and it is Ubuntu. Great. That means it's a Linux environment. Let's open the Firefox. Paste the IP and run it on port 80. Let's hit enter. Okay, it's loading. Work Pro, Note Pro, Phone Pro, Watch Pro. They don't have any login functionality, right? So let's see the source code of this website. Right click on it and click on view page source. Okay. And we have got the S3 bucket, that is Mega Big Tech. Let's click on that. I have removed the image and image name. Let's hit enter. Okay, so now we know that we have this Mega Big Tech S3 bucket. Let's see the walkthrough. Okay, we have done with this step, that is enumeration, and we have seen the website and we have got the bucket name And here we have this note that with the S3 bucket name, we can attempt to get the ID of the AWS account it is hosted in. Research by Ben Bretz reveals that it's possible to quickly brute force the AWS account ID and S3 buckets belongs to. And reading this research post and also reviewing the code here, let me click on this, is recommended. But in short, the script creates policy that utilize the new resource account policy condition key to elevate whether to grant us access to an S3 bucket based on the AWS account that the buckets belongs to. Okay, and fortunately we don't have to guess a trillion different account ID to find the right one. The available search space can be massively reduced by leveraging string matching and wildcards. So first, let's set the credential for a user that is allowed to assume a role we signed. So we have this get object and list bucket permission. Assuming a role that's assigned one of these permission is required for the script. Okay, so let's configure the credential. Let me copy the access key. Okay, we have to write AWS configure, provide the key. Next up, we have to configure the secret key. We don't know the region. Okay, now let's check who we are. STS get caller identity command. Okay, so we are this user, that is S3 user. This is our user ID and this is our account ID. Great. So we are this S3 user, right? Let's see the next step. We have successfully configured the credentials, and then go ahead and issue the command, that is python 3 -m pip install s3 account search to install this tool. And next up, we need to provide the ARN of the role under our control in our own account, as well as a target bucket in the AWS account whose ID we want to enumerate. Okay, so they have already created a role, so we don't have to find it. Okay, let's first install this S3 account search script. Please review it in your free time. It is a straightforward script. Okay, so let's copy this command and paste it here. Let's hit enter. Requirement is already satisfied. So let's go to the directory home of Shan local bin, and if you write ls, you will see this S3 finder and S3 account search. Okay, let me copy this and clear the screen and paste the command here. This is the ARN of this leaky bucket role, and here we have provided the S3 bucket name. Okay, so it will take maybe 4 to 5 minutes to get the account ID. So let's wait. And you know what? I have fired this command as well. So we are currently an S3 user, right? So I was just searching for this leaky buckets role. So for that, I have write this AWS IAM list roles command to get the list of that leaky bucket role, but we don't have access to that resource. Okay, this S3 user is not authorized to perform the list role. They have already created this leaky bucket role for us. Let's see. Okay, it will take time. And when we find this ID, okay, this reveals the AWS account ID. So when we find this ID, we can use this information to hunt down public resources that might have been accidentally exposed by the account owner, such as public EBS and RDS snapshot. We have already seen this public EBS and snapshot in our second lab. We have solved this loot public EBS and snapshot labs. Make sure that you guys check out that lab that was so interesting. You will get access to the secret data. Okay, and it would be good to know the AWS region that the S3 bucket was created. So for that matter, we have to write this command. Okay, curl -I, the capital I, and provide the bucket name. Okay, let's see if it's completed. Yes, it is completed, and we have found the account ID. Copy it and paste it here. Account ID, and this is our S3 bucket name. Because of this S3 bucket name, we have found this ID. Great. Next up, okay, we have to fire this command. Let's hit enter. 200 is a success code, and the bucket region is US East 1A. Okay, great. So let me copy that. Easy. US East 1. Great. Okay, now we have account ID. So let's go to our AWS console and sign in. And I have signed in my AWS account. Okay, so the Northern Virginia is selected, that is US East 1. Click on EC2. After clicking on EC2, we have to go to snapshots. From this drop down menu, select public snapshot and write owner is equal to, and we have to provide this account ID. Okay, and let's hit enter. And yes, we have found public snapshot. Okay, and this is the owner. Encryption not encrypted. Volume ID, you guys can create a volume. Okay, you guys can create a volume, then launch an EC2 instance, and after that you can mount this volume to your EC2 instance to access the data. So we have already covered these steps in our lab 2. Make sure that you guys check out that. I'm not going to perform all these steps again. Okay, so we have found the account ID. That is our flag for this lab. Okay, let me copy it. And let's see the walkthrough first. Like, what are the steps we have done? Okay, we have done with curl command. We have login. Okay, yes, here they are saying the same thing, that please refer to the loot public EBS snapshots to learn how we can exploit this. Okay, now let's scroll up and submit our flag. Flag already submitted. Okay, I've already submitted the flag. So this is a very straightforward lab. We don't have to find anything because they have already provided us the role and script, right? So we don't have to search more. So we have learned 2 things in this lab. Don't make your snapshots publicly available, and always encrypt your snapshots. Okay, yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you like it. If you did, then please share this video with your friends and your colleagues, and make sure that you guys are subscribing to my YouTube channel. We'll see you in my next video. Till then, take care and keep learning. Bye bye.